FIFA just changed football. Not like tweaked it. Not like, oh, we adjusted the offside line. No. They looked at the most watched sport on the planet, a game that's been basically the same for 150 years, and said, you know what? Let's blow it up. 7 new rules. All dropping at the 2026 World Cup, right here, on American soil. And some of them, genuinely great. But a couple of them, man. A couple of them are going to break your brain. Let's get into it. So here's the thing you need to understand first. FIFA didn't just wake up one morning and get creative. This was a slow build, because for years, the #1 complaint about football from casual fans, especially in North America, has been the same. It's boring. It's slow. The players fake injuries. The guys take forever to walk off the pitch. Nothing happens. And look, if you're a football purist, that criticism probably makes your blood boil. Because you understand the game. You get the tension. You appreciate what a midfield press actually means. You love it. But FIFA is staring down a 48-team World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. 48 teams. They need new fans. They need the casual viewer. The person who maybe watches the Super Bowl and has never seen a group stage match in their life. They need that person locked in. So they built these rules for them. And that's where it gets complicated. Because some of these rules, they're not just rule changes. They're basically admitting that football, as it's been played, has a problem it's never wanted to admit. Let's start with the one that's already been tested, the 10-second substitution rule. Here's how it works. Simple. Beautiful, actually. When you get subbed off, you have 10 seconds to leave the field at the nearest exit point. Not the center circle, not the bench. Wherever you are, boom, you walk to the nearest line and you're gone. If you don't, your replacement has to wait a full minute on the sideline, and your team plays with 10 men. Now, MLS, Major League Soccer, has been running this since 2024, and the honest answer from everyone who's watched it, it works. You don't see the slow walk. You don't see the jersey tuck, the sock adjustment, the little wave to the crowd that takes 45 seconds. Players move. But here's the question nobody wants to answer yet. What happens when it's the 88th minute, 1-0, and Argentina, or Brazil, or whoever, is trying to ice the game, and Messi gets subbed off, and he takes 11 seconds? Does the referee actually do it? Does the fourth official hold up that board and say, sorry, your substitute waits a minute? In MLS? Sure, stakes are lower. Consequences feel manageable. At a World Cup quarterfinal with 1 billion people watching, that's the moment the rule either becomes real or becomes a suggestion. And here's the thing. They didn't stop at 10 seconds. They went further. Way further. 5 seconds. That's what you get for a throw-in. 5 seconds for a goal kick. And before you go, that seems reasonable, I need you to think about what that actually eliminates from football. The long throw. Gone. You know those teams in the Premier League who build an entire set-piece strategy around the throw-in, where they spend 40, sometimes 45 seconds setting up, positioning players, running patterns, calling codes like it's an NFL play? If the referee is actually counting 5, 4, 3, 2, you can't do that anymore. You just pick it up and hurl it. And for goal kicks, the goalkeeper who taps it back to a defender who passes it around the back, slowly, deliberately, just bleeding the clock, the ref can now take that possession away. Give it to the other team. Corner kick. Now, and this is important, the key word in every single one of these rules is if they actually enforce it. Because we've seen FIFA introduce big rules before and then just not really commit. Remember the 2022 World Cup and 15 minutes of stoppage time? Everyone freaked out, and then we all kind of went, wait, is this what we wanted? These rules only work if a referee is willing to enforce them at the worst possible moment. But okay, time-wasting rules. Fine, we can debate those. The one that made me stop and genuinely go, wait, what? Is this next one. If you cover your mouth during a confrontation with another player, you can be sent off with a red card. Let me say that again. You're in a heated moment. You lean in to say something to an opponent. Maybe you're telling a teammate something tactical. Maybe you're telling the guy who just fouled you exactly what you think of him. And you instinctively put your hand over your mouth so the cameras don't pick it up. Red card. Off you go. The reasoning is clean. FIFA wants to stamp out abuse, dissent, and players weaponizing the whisper to avoid lip-reading cameras. And look, I get it. There's something unsettling about watching a player clearly say something awful and then walk away with zero consequence because we couldn't prove it. But a red card? In a knockout round? For hand placement? That one's going to create a moment. Guaranteed. Somewhere in the group stage, someone's going to get sent off for this, and the whole world is going to lose its mind. And then there's this one. This is the one that made me understand what FIFA is actually building. 3-minute hydration breaks in each half, around the 22nd minute. Now they'll tell you it's about player safety. It's hot in Dallas, in Atlanta, in Miami. And yes, it can be brutal out there in summer. That's real. But 3 minutes is not a hydration break. 90 seconds? That's a hydration break. Grab the bottle, pour it on your head, get back out there. 3 minutes is a tactical timeout. That's a coach pulling out a laptop. And this has literally already happened. The US national team used it exactly like this against Belgium and Portugal in a March window. Pulling out a laptop, showing clips, restructuring the entire shape of the team. That's a basketball timeout. That's an NFL challenge flag. That's not football. And here's the uncomfortable thing that nobody's saying out loud. 3 minutes is also a commercial break. This is how advertising enters football. Not with a banner, not with a jersey patch, with a rule change, dressed as player welfare. The sport that has been one of the last holdouts against mid-game commercials, the thing that makes football genuinely different from American sports, may have just quietly opened the door. And once it's open, it never really closes. But wait, there's still the VAR stuff. And this one? This one they're calling the anti-Arsenal rule. And if you know what happened at West Ham last season, you already know exactly why. VAR is getting expanded. 3 big changes. 1. Corners can now be reviewed. If VAR spots a foul in the build-up to a corner being awarded, the referee can go back and check it, as long as it doesn't delay the restart. In a sport where corner kick routines are now basically choreographed NBA plays, where you've got blockers and runners and decoys, this changes everything. Every big corner goal is now a potential review. 2. Second yellow cards can be checked. If a player gets sent off on a second booking and VAR thinks the call was clearly wrong, they can intervene. Which sounds sensible, until you realize that clearly wrong is doing a lot of work in that sentence. 3. Mistaken identity. If a referee books the wrong player, books the guy who was fouled instead of the guy who committed the foul, which sounds insane but has genuinely happened, VAR can fix it. These are all fine, honestly. These are refinements. But the corners one? In a World Cup where one set piece can end a nation's campaign, that's the rule that's going to define a moment. Someone's going to score a header in the 94th minute. Fans will be going insane, and then the little earpiece goes in, the referee walks to the monitor, and everything stops. We've seen it. We know the feeling. And now, it's coming to corners. So here's where we actually land on all of this. FIFA made these rules for a reason. They want the 2026 World Cup, the biggest one ever, 48 teams, 3 countries, the first one in North America at this scale, to be undeniable. They want the casual fan. They want the person who's never watched football to turn it on and go, "Oh, I get this. This is fast. This is exciting. Nothing is wasted." And some of these rules genuinely help that. The time-wasting stuff? Real problem, real solution. But the hydration breaks, the 3-minute tactical timeouts dressed up as player welfare, that's the one that worries me. Because football's identity is its flow. It's the thing that makes it different from every other sport. The tension that builds over 45 uninterrupted minutes. The way a team can be outplayed for an hour and then find something in the last 10. That's not a bug. That's the whole point. You start interrupting that flow for commercials, for coaching sessions, for tactical resets, and you don't have football anymore. You have something else. Something that's maybe more palatable for a casual North American audience. Something that's maybe more profitable, but not the game that a billion people fell in love with. The World Cup starts in a few weeks. These rules are locked in. And somewhere around the 22nd minute of the opening game, when that hydration break whistle blows for the very first time on the biggest stage in football, we're going to find out exactly what kind of game we're watching.